Hey everyone, I'm Kate Graham. I'm a shamanic healing practitioner, an intuitive oracle. I've done thousands of psychic readings. I focus a lot on ancestral healing, both in my journey and also in retreats and the work that I do with people one-to-one. And more importantly, here I am the founder of OracleFest. OracleFest came to me through a series of visions, and I continue to go back to the spiritual space that had opened up to me in those journeys, which I call Oracle Mountain. And Oracle Mountain is this imagined spiritual, non ordinary space where we all gather. And so everyone who feels connected to this idea is welcome there, is welcome at the top of Oracle Mountain. And I also specifically call up luminaries, speakers that hold a great light and wisdom in our world from a variety of different areas of expertise, different niches within the spiritual world. There are so many different facets of learning that are available to us now. I really wanted to open up a celebration and an education space in a way, and also a spiritually activating space where if you want to visit it online, virtually in this spiritual space, you hopefully would receive some intuitive insights. Just like in the ancient past, when people would go visit oracles, there's a little bit of a journey to get there. And so that is where the Oracle Mountain idea was really born. So I wanted to come on here today, not just as the founder or the host, but also just as myself to address what I see is happening in our world. And it feels like something is shifting in 2026. And I feel like a lot of people can feel it. We have been going through a number 9 year numerology wise, which has meant a lot of closed doors and endings of chapters, and far more than we probably wanted or liked at the time. And yet, I think if you're in tune and listening, you are already seeing that a lot of these things that are getting swept away, it's for your highest benefit and for your greatest good, and perhaps the greatest good of all. I really think that if all of us are connected to our intuition, to our inner oracle, that we follow that, and that is the best for us all collectively, even if it doesn't quite seem like it at the time. I've certainly been feeling it, and I'm really thrilled about it, to be honest. It's a strange thing, I think, to be in the world that I'm in, because often when you see things crumbling, there's like a sense of relief because you know that some of the crumbling is some of the stuff that was being held up with kind of like matchsticks. It didn't really have a lot of structure to it in the first place, or maybe didn't have staying power. So it can sometimes be a relief when you see certain things crumble. But it is a bit of an absurd world, is it not? The rising of AI, and certainly the amount of mass atrocities continuing to be committed. There's a large part of my child self which finds it very, very difficult to understand and to reconcile with the forces of the forces against humanity, even from within human race, like the fact that there are so many humans which are focused on disconnect and division and war and violence. It is really difficult to stomach. And I would imagine that most of you being here are sensitive people and you feel similarly, at least for most of those things. And so in a way, our collective consciousness feels restless. It feels like there's people waiting for things to get good, and there's people waiting for doom, and that there's like that anticipation, or you're like on the precipice, that feeling. It feels kind of uncomfortable. It really is like staring over a cliff, is that feeling. And in a way, it's also waking up, I think, to the distance and to the height that you're at, and to the reality as it is. Waking up is, it's like waking up in the morning. It's not always the most pleasant experience. Oftentimes we wake up and we kind of wish we went back to sleep. And there is, I think, a lot of that's been happening. There has been a rapid number of awakenings happening around. I would say it doesn't feel like the whole of it is increasing, but our whole collective as as we're moving into Aquarius age. So I feel like probably it's the same percentage of people who are awakening, but we're just seeing the numbers rise and rise because that's actually natural for our entire consciousness has been raised as a collective, as all of humanity. When I say collective, I generally mean the collective of humanity that at least I tune into. So where does this bring us? I did write notes, but let me refer to them for once. Yeah. So I really feel like our world doesn't necessarily need more content. And yet so many of us are feeling the call to create more content. And so we might be getting like confused or disrupted on the path towards that, wanting to make sure that what we're bringing into the world really has meaning. And I really stand behind what OracleFest is bringing as far as the vision to support many other spiritual teachers, guides, oracles, and beings who have really done a lot of deep inner work and outer work in order to be able to walk this path and to give teachings. And I really believe in the idea of welcoming in as many people as we can to celebrate and to support your further stepping into your inner oracle and to your own awakening of the truth of reality as you see it in your own world. I really also strongly believe in the spiritual sovereignty of each of us, that we are in danger if we herald like celebrities or gurus, these kind of cult leader type of ideals. And it can be really easy to be swept up and sensational about our spiritual path. And I've often seen this as a bit scary, that can happen so easily to folks. And so I hope that by spreading a bunch of different types of leaders around, and none of these people are wanting you to sell all your stuff and get everything only from them and see them as the one true voice. You know, they all understand what this OracleFest movement is about and recognize how great it is when each person is spiritual and sovereign in that. I hope that it creates a safe space for you to explore your spirituality, especially after a year like this, you might be questioning your path. You might be really taking a new look at your identity and your purpose. I know I have been, and it is unsettling in some ways. You know, there's parts of me and parts of my work that I'm absolutely just needing to leave in the dust. And there's a whole decade plus that are new downloads that have been arriving. And I imagine that if you're not quite sure what those things are, you're just receiving the feelings, and then it can be very difficult to know where to put them. And so there's something interesting that happens when we gather a bunch of people together that each have a lot of wisdom and insight, especially in certain or specific areas, which is you will feel drawn to certain people. And then that can help inform where you're meant to go next on your journey. I think that's so special because someone just might have a vibration that really resonates with you for some reason. And so you might work with them, or you might purchase their books or oracle decks, or you might take a course or program that they're teaching. You might do a retreat experience with them, you know, and many of the OracleFest speakers have these types of choices that you might be able to make with them. And then perhaps, you know, you remember another voice that also spoke to you. Maybe it was a bit quiet, but that person stayed in your mind. And throughout the year, you have access to the replays, you rewatch it, and it hits you at just the right moment when you are contemplating something, you know, contemplating making some change perhaps in your life. And then you come across this replay and it speaks to you differently. Then you might reach out to them. And so it creates a safer network and also allows the oracles and the teachers and the guides to be brought into the value that I really feel that they deserve and ought to hold in our larger community and society. And as well, I am so excited to bring in-person events to OracleFest and to actually gather us in person to experience a radical transformation that comes only when very special people gather all together and collectively heal and transform, including all the speakers, including all the attendees and any volunteers who are taking part. So it does feel like OracleFest can give a lot of truth and clarity, even when what we're seeing on a larger scale in the world can look like a lot of lack of truth. a lot of confusion and a lot of chaos. And that is, I think, this pendulum swing that we are hopefully slowing down in the next few years here. I believe it comes from our wider choice, like our collective choice to continue going forward in a certain way with all of these new technologies and new ideas, and also ancient wisdom, right? If we can bind those and find a grounded, more truthful and heart-based way to keep living forward as humanity, it feels like we will actually grow and evolve in the ways that we would like. And when we stay stuck in the chaos and the overwhelm, and we miss out on intuitive clarity, and we miss out on the wisdom and the insight that our communities have, long since relied on, I do believe that we veer more into the chaos and the disconnect, and perhaps the darker side of what many sensitive folks, I think, are fearing in these times. The doom story definitely has a place in all of our healing. So I did create OracleFest because I kept seeing something in the private client work and in my own healing journey that I was doing, which is that usually people aren't actually lacking intuition. It's that they are struggling to have confidence, or to believe in it, or to trust it. So I have been running the Trusting Your Visions journey now for a few weeks. And it has been life-changing for me to keep showing up for these practices daily, and to explore it myself as well. I think my learning is never done, and I hope I never believe that I've learned all that I need to know. So it is teaching me a lot, even to show up and facilitate this. And I do feel that part of the reason we struggle to trust ourselves or to feel confident is because on a community level, it is difficult for us to reach the depth that we are seeking most often. And there aren't actually a lot of safe feeling places to be spiritually powerful. And if you're here, you are spiritually powerful. I really believe that like every single one of you who follows this channel has a spiritual power that is so beautiful and unique and necessary in order to support our whole world of healing. There's a great population of the world that is intuitive. Imagine all those intuitive people really felt and knew the power of that sensitivity and used it to take action that really felt so aligned with their heart and with spirit and with kindness and love and compassion towards the entire earth and towards the entire world. How might we then grow as a human, race? And I really do. It feels like, oh, OracleFest can't do that, but OracleFest is some part of that ecosystem. And it is an ecosystem. There's so many different amazing leaders who are creating change. And so I hope to bring a community here forward that provides many, many of these change makers for you to witness and for you to learn from, for you to step into your own version of what that looks like as well. So I have always seen this as a global gathering. As soon as I had the idea for it to be a small event and then like a large convention center event, which now I don't see it that way. As soon as I crossed that threshold of actually, maybe it's much different, maybe it's much bigger, maybe it's much deeper, I kept journeying to this Oracle Mountain space, and I would see so many people waiting at the horizon line. And every time I return to Oracle Mountain, I still see crowds and crowds of people wanting to come forward, wanting to come up, and wanting to be a part of this energy in this space. And it's what keeps me moving forward with it, even in this number 9 year where it has felt like, oh my gosh, are you sure? Are you sure? It feels like a lot of things are crumbling. Are you sure I shouldn't just let go and try to take an easier path? I know it's not easier to deny our intuitive visions. And OracleFest was going to keep tugging on my sleeve until I continued to answer this call. So I tried not to fight it. I really have. I've done my best to try not to fight it, to really accept that this is what our world needs in some way, and that, I promise to be here and show up for it the best that I can. I don't think we need gurus. I don't think we need some hierarchy, some structure where we herald the top oracles and the middle oracles and the lower oracles. I really feel like what we need is transformation and this real connection and a real you know, in some way it can be an initiation or a rite of passage that you return to year upon year. This big OracleFest online, the end of January, it serves as a threshold moment. Like it serves as a way. I was seriously majorly awakened. I had a big spiritual transformation throughout this year because of, and I know it was because of being around all these high vibrational beings for 3 full days. So this year I decided to make it 4 days. So this year feels really different because the world is really different. This feels totally different than last year because I sense right now that people are exhausted. I sense right now that people are not looking for performance and they don't want to be sold this idea of like fear or urgency. I think people want clarity. And so I'm trying to be clear with you here. This is what I feel we are offering is that these are spiritual leaders who are really grounded in their practices. And they may have a level of performance. There's sound healing, for goodness sake, that's going to be a level of performance, but it's not performative. It's not trying to please everyone. And that's really important to me, is to find people who it really feels like they're authentically understanding what this can be about. And also that we find a way to support all of our speakers. So if you love one of the speakers and have followed them, then I please encourage you to go and click that for your tickets through their affiliate link, because that actually gives them back more as well. And as we grow, I'll be able to also share more with the oracles and the leaders who come forward. And that's the idea of this larger vision working, is all of us receive something from what we put into it. I do think people are looking for truth, and they are looking for like a deeper quality in their events. And what I'm seeing, which is not to cut down any other businesses, because I do feel we all have a place right now. But what I was seeing was that there wasn't like a space that really called me as an oracle, as a speaker, as a healing practitioner, to go and speak at. I wasn't seeing something that felt like it was a fun and ceremonial and spiritually woven place online, that also was going to bring many voices together, that didn't feel like a summit, like a boring and no shade, of course. But I just didn't want that. I didn't want like a boring summit where I show up for my part and I have no idea what else is happening. And there aren't any other unique things going on. Like our event has live readings and it has panel discussions. It has sound healing woven into it. It mixes a whole bunch of different worlds that aren't normally seen together. So we might have indigenous wisdom mixed with starseed knowledge, and the star nations are a concept that has been shared, but do we always see them in the same conference? Like the galactic folk maybe are not always at the same conferences as the shamanic folk, or the past life folk, or the astrology, like specifically, or the tarot, right? Some of them, yes, we cross over, but I haven't seen anything quite like this, and I really did want to bring it forward. So I feel really, truly, 2026 can be a year of awakening the collective oracle. I see it like the phoenix rebirth. It feels like the rising together. And so I sense this phoenix rising, and I'm starting the flame now, fanning the flame at the top of Oracle Mountain, allowing this phoenix call to be seen and signaled for all of us. That is the vision that I received for this year, was the phoenix actually being a larger part of our event this year. We did have the fire of the phoenix at our first event. It almost feels like this was a place where we were going into the fire, and it was turning things. And this is now the rising of the phoenix. So this is not just the intuitive part, but also like true wisdom. I do really care about having a lot of elders on our council, on our circle, for OracleFest, because I believe that they give us a really beautiful perspective to hold, so that we're not so inundated by the flashy way that sometimes these things can feel. And so I also really believe in bringing in ancestry. My ancestors anyway are very supportive of me continuing this work, and to encourage the visionaries in all of the speakers and in all of the attendees as well. Like I really want you to be able to bring your visions to life. That's exactly why I've loved doing this Trusting Your Visions journey. So if you would still like to join, you can join. We're in the beta group for Trusting Your Visions, and we will bring it back again next spring as well. I'm just loving it so much. I can't let it go. So, okay. Yeah, that explains that. OracleFest. So what OracleFest can give you. We are going to be talking dreams and dream work. We are going to be talking ancestral healing. We're going to be talking land. We're going to have channeled guidance. And so we're going to have live readings where you can show up, you can receive guidance. If you're in the Zoom room, if you buy your full ticket for the 4 days, which right now is on early bird pricing. So if you want to go check that out, that'd be great. We're going to have live ceremony. Like I weave in ceremony and story throughout and do my best to also provide some nature time. Last year, it was so dense in the 3 days. This year, we have more speakers. We're going to have 44 speakers. That's what I felt really, really strongly about this year, 44 speakers. Last year, we had 125 attendees with 28 speakers, and we'd planned it and started it in like 3 months' time. So it was a real like whirlwind of getting started. This year, we've got another 2 months until we have big OracleFest. We already have over 30 speakers signed up. I'm going to get the last, 12 to 14 signed up. I'm going to get that schedule out, hopefully by late December. And so we're going to be walking towards with a lot of excitement and a lot of like anticipation, knowing what's coming forward. We're also going to do Omen Days, December 26th to January 6th. So you're definitely going to want to be on the inside crew ticket holder because there's going to be more opportunities to receive in that time. Hint, 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 hint. I'm not revealing much right now, but there will be, opportunities to receive during that time, which is so needed when we're in that crossover of the calendar year. We're going to have people who help you with emotional healing as well, with receiving deeper insight for yourself. We're going to have shamanic work. We're going to have galactic work, light work. Hopefully we'll have angelic work. I believe we do already. We're going to have animal guides mentioned. There's so many things that are going to be spoken about. Yeah, astrology, if I didn't mention that, tarot, reflection, writing. Writing is a really beautiful connection point for a lot of our different speakers who have created books and or oracle decks. We're going to have lots available for you. There's going to be lots and lots of practical tools. So don't get me wrong. This isn't just going to be a thing that's like we hear from all these speakers and you receive all this like information. There's also experiences really held within this. So we do the sound healing. Yes, the live readings are there. We have panel discussions where you might be able to ask a question as well. But also many of our speakers are going to guide you through an energy activation, maybe a quantum healing activation or some sort of light work, ascension work. There are going to be many, many, many ways that you can interact with this. And if you have a full ticket, then you're also going to get the replays. We do have an option for you to be able to do the live watch and not to get the replays and not to be in the Zoom room, because I recognize that also the price I've needed to value it at, I really feel makes sense for giving back to the speakers, for allowing OracleFest to grow, for what is the actual value of everything you're getting and getting all those replays for the rest of the year. It's like your own amazing spiritual Netflix. Plus you also get all the replays from the past if you're in the Star All Access Pass. So there's definitely, I really feel that this is like the right pricing and the right value to put on it. I also recognize that we're in funky times. Okay. So I do get that. And so if you want to join and you are on a budget, but you really want to be a part of it, you can absolutely live watch. And we're going to watch out for the comments and everything on YouTube. And there will always be a chance if you want to upgrade, of course, during the event to get into the Zoom room. We're not going to close the doors on you. If you've got that one ticket, there will be a way. So if you want to secure that you're going to be able to watch all of OracleFest, at least during those 4 days, January 30th to February 2nd, you can go get the live watch only ticket. And then never know, maybe the universe will conspire to bring things to you. You'll be able to get that upgrade even before the event starts and be able to take part of it in the like fullest, extent possible and get all the replays, which I think is juicy. It's full on. It's 4 days of full on. And it's super multidimensional. That's what I love about it. It really creates a huge field of awareness and understanding for all of us, which is why I felt incredibly activated after the last one. I felt like I needed to just float and also live in the world. Like I felt like I needed to be in primal, nourishing, grounded place, but I also felt extremely awakened and clear and just, I guess lighter in spirit right after and throughout the year. So if you've listened to any of this and you're resonating with it and you kind of think I might need that, I'm going to ask you to trust yourself on that and trust your visions and trust this part of you that might be feeling like in order to step into this next chapter, you want some more support, you want more power, you need more clarity, you want to feel connected to spirits and ancestors, and you want a part of everything that we are creating here. So this is about the rebirth and the reclamation of the oracle and the reawakening of that part of you that absolutely knows, just knows and feels and senses the truth and your own truth. And so you might ask your future self, hey, did I go to OracleFest? And if they say yes, then go get your ticket, because right now is the early bird price. So I really feel that our world needs OracleFest. I've debated many times dropping it because it's a big vision, and that's a scary thing to step into. So please know that from wherever you're coming from, I understand the idea of being intimidated by this work and being intimidated by greeting the part of yourself that is asking for more from yourself. I know it very, very, very well. This is exactly why I feel we need to continue this work and why we need to continue bringing OracleFest where it wants to go. So I hope that you'll join us. You'll join me in helping this vision stay alive, come to life, but stay alive as well. And that I see you at OracleFest online, January 30th to February 2nd, 2026. So hope to see you all there. And wherever you are right now, closing out your year, please know this is all happening for your greatest good, and that there is a beautiful future awaiting you, especially when you listen even more deeply than you ever have.